Hey everybody, it's day 2. Yesterday was we got the bike in, got it unloaded. Hope you enjoyed that. Went over a few things. Really didn't have my head wrapped around what I was going to do with the bike, where to really start, what everything was. Before I started the video today, I was able to separate some of the nuts and bolts, kind of get an idea where they're going, and get on to things like finding the battery. Of course, the battery was tucked up under one of the side moldings. And right here we have the electrolytes and instructions, and it basically says just clip it off, pour it in. You don't want to go all the way to the top. You want to leave a little bit of space in there because as it heats, when it's charging, it's going to expand and all kinds of fun stuff. So you want to give it a little bit of room to do its thing. Also, we'll go ahead and get this, but while I'm thinking about it, I knew the bike was coming, and if you have family members and you have a lot of tools like myself, not a ton, but a lot, every now and then you'll look for something and nobody knows where it is. I've had the same charger, battery charger, for ages and ages and ages. Knowing that I would need to charge this battery when it came in, I looked for it, went on the hunt, couldn't find it anywhere. It just vanished out of the garage. Maybe a neighbor's got it, I don't know. So, just like anybody, we got us a new one in. Some of the good parts about these projects is you get to buy new tools. This one here, of course, was an Amazon, got it in 2 days. And this one's actually a little better than the one I had because it has 50 cold cranking amps. I think that's, what is that, a Nunamaker? Or, oh, Shoemaker. Okay, well we'll go ahead and get this going and get this on the charger. Basically it's fairly simple. You just come in here, take all this off, got a little funnel. Make sure that you, for your China bike, you use the proper tool. A Pittsburgh screwdriver from China. And just go ahead and pop these off. Nice and easy. You get the idea. I'm just going to fill them to the top and we'll get this on the charger. And we will go on 10 amps, slow charge. We'll get this going and then I've got some things for some people. Okay, so now we're over here at the bike. We were talking about possibly doing an airbox mod right there, so I took the seat off so we could look at it and see what the intake looks like. And I wanted to give you guys a little more information about what's going on right here. This is part of the emissions to try to improve the emissions out the exhaust, so it can go to places like California or whatever, those people that freak out over emissions. So let's get to it. Right here in the airbox, I went ahead and unscrewed it all. Doesn't look anything like the Hawk. Well, I thought maybe up under in here on the back side we would have those big open area that you could clear out. So we took it off. This one's pretty easy. You gotta lift that side and slide it out. There's the air filter. But here, if you look, not much of a airbox mod to do. I mean, you can see through it relatively. It's relatively open. I guess you could open this up, these three, this little piece here, or you could just basically knock this whole piece out. You can see where it's glued in. I don't know if that's going to make a big difference. I might think about it. The only thing I can see at this point for the airbox, let's go ahead and get it back on there. This side in. If you look at the box itself, it's relatively large and it goes all the way to the carb, of course. This area here, it would almost be better just to go ahead and go with the cone-shaped air filter. I mean, I can't think of really modifying this to help any. I mean, there may be some restriction, and I'm sure there is, You know, that might be able to be cured with like a high-end intake filter like this one I showed you in here. This one's okay. Maybe I could get a high flow filter in there and maybe help that out. Anything can help. I don't see a whole lot going on there. Another thing. Okay, right here. This is the excess emissions junk. From what I can tell, it uses the pressure that the cylinder creates, and this is like a slave. And what it does is it pumps air from the airbox intake right here, pulls all that cool, fresh air right in here, and comes in here. This is actually using the cylinder to make this pump, would be my guess. And as it pulls that air in, it goes up this little tube, and I traced it, and it goes all the way to the back side, or the front side, I guess you'd say. Well, that would be the back side of the carburetor. If you look right there, there she is. You can get a better view over here. And them injecting fresh air to the carb right there is how this system works. That's going to be totally deleted. If I had the plate already made, I would just yank it off now. But as easy as it is to get to all of this, I'm going to go ahead and save it for later. You know, no rush. This right here is the other thing. It's got a giant cat back there. Big old cat. There you go, you can kind of see it. What I plan on doing is, I'll take this off so you can see it better. I'm actually going to cut a large window in it, and I'm just going to hollow it out. That way I can keep the bends all the way back to the end of the exhaust. Here I really haven't been able to, or I haven't really looked down in it, but I did go as far as this. Well, you take a socket. Doesn't take much to get to the end of it. I know you can punch it out. I was thinking possibly popping these rivets, because I do have a rivet gun, pulling the cap and trying to pull it apart and see what's actually in there. Just hollow it out that way. Maybe line it, just the outer liner with, just hollow it through, outer liner with some fiberglass, and maybe I can do that and keep that. I don't know. We may just go ahead and buy a new piece back there. I'm not sure. And we're gonna change out the oil with some nice Rotella T5 right there. As you see right here, I've got a lot of the stuff separated and figured out where a lot of it goes. There are a few things that have kind of driving me nuts, like these little spacers here. Don't really quite know where those go yet. Got these. These usually go with like some type of trim or plastic. I'm thinking maybe the rack on the back, something to that effect. Of course, the kickstand. Those are just straps. I've got another one here. These rubber grommets, things that shake, usually electronics or my speedometer gauge, neighbor's mowing, and bolts like this. This one here has kind of got me confused also. It's different from the others, it's just different color. About the same color as the bolt that goes on the kickstand. I'm figuring it's going to be somewhere around the body framework. But we're going to get into it, and we'll be back when I have something interesting to show you. So, previously I said those rubber little washers and stuff maybe for like the tachometer and what have you. And I would be wrong. These little suckers, they actually hold the fairing. They go between here on this. The reason why I know that is I tried to just put this back on here, and I noticed that I had a little rubber hole here, but I didn't have one here. There was a bolt there with a rubber washer around it. So I started looking, and lo and behold, on the other fairing, there's another hole. This rubber grommet was that mystery grommet that was on the table. It fit right in that hole, so it looks like this will go on first into this place. just like that, and I'll be able to use that there. And I'll also be able to stabilize the front with those little rubber O-rings. Just a little note, so if you're putting one together, don't beat your head over the wall. Don't beat your head against the wall, I should say. And I discovered another thing too. These washers like this are actually, I think, for these bolts. Like that. Because that's what's holding a lot of the bike together. These hex heads, and they have washers that are shanked. So, another note. All right.